Continue now with the silent Amidah, which is on page 11. And so as we rise for this, as some folks have heard me say before, the Amidah is built on a three-part structure. Shevach, Bakashot, Behodot. So, as we move into this silence, if the words that are here in this machzor are useful to you, if they're powerful for you, great, use them. They're fabulous. Right? These are words that our people have used to enter Rosh Hashanah for thousands of years. If these words aren't working for you for any number of reasons, there are all sorts of reasons they might not be the right words for you in this moment. Not a problem. That's why we've got this three-part structure. Shevach, Bakashot, Behodot. Wow, please, and thank you. And often we come back to this on Friday night and we try to zoom out to think about the week. But here, at the cusp of the new year, I invite us to zoom out a little bit and think about this year, which I think I can say with confidence for all of us. It's been a crazy year. So looking back over this past year, right, and everything we've gone through individually, everything we've gone through as a community, everything we've gone through as a nation, what are the places where you can access that sense of wow, that sense of shevach, that sense of just incredible amazement that we got out of bed this morning and breathed in what all of these green plants out here have exhaled. And that kept us going through the whole day, right? That place of wow, that place of wonder, of at a very core sense, right? Depending on where you like your theology from the Psalms to be able to see that every day is creation renewed, or from Bruce Springsteen to say it ain't no sin to be glad you're alive, just to have that sense of aliveness. And from there we move into please. As we look back on this year, what are the things that we're lacking? What are the things we're asking for? What are the things that we're missing in our lives? And we don't name them because we think magic works, and if you ask really nicely, they're going to show up. We ask because most of our psychic energy, most of our psychological energy, goes into turning us away from the places where we hurt, the places where we're lacking things, the places where we're needy. And so this is a moment to look back on the year and think, okay, what have I been lacking? What have I been needing? What have I been hungering for? And can I just say, I want that, I need that. And then from there we move to hodot, to thanks, right? To be able to be grateful for what we have. Having just spent a few moments articulating what we don't have, we end by giving thanks for what we do have, so that we're more grateful for what we do have than we are unhappy or bitter about what we don't have. And it's very easy to be seduced by the pain of our lacks, the pains of our wants, and the structure wisely ends us on gratitude for what we do have, to remind us that what we have is enough, and who we are is enough. So that's our structure. Wow, please, and thank you. Shevach, Bakashot, Behodot. And I invite you to follow that in your mind if you prefer, in the liturgy if you prefer, which we continue with silently here on page 11. Hashanah, the first of Tishrei. There's something sweet in this season about going outside and looking up and looking for that first sliver of the moon, right? That's how we know it's Rosh Hashanah. It's actually not the app on the phone, right? But when that first crescent of the moon appears, it's the beginning of the month of Tishrei, the beginning of the year. And so, it being Rosh Hashanah, we're gathered here. And we're gathered to embark on a particular and an incredible type of journey. We're setting off on what we hope, what we intend to be 10 days of awe, 10 days of introspection and reflection, 10 days of trying to figure out who we are and what we're doing here, and how we can do what we're doing better. So it's 10 days of seeking something. Forgiveness, perhaps, redemption, connection, whatever it is we need to do, whatever it is we're trying to do better. But whatever it is that we're looking for, we're not the first people to go looking for it. Many of us have traveled down this road before this season, and tonight, on the first of Tishrei, Jews all around the world will be gathering in spaces that look like this and look nothing like this to search together for something, some sense of meaning, some sense of purpose. Now, there can be great power in davening or praying in a group. Rabbi Nachman of Bratslav, one of the most important of the early Hasidic masters, stresses the potential power of groups. He talks about a group of people dancing in a circle with enthusiasm and ecstasy. But off to the side, there's somebody sad and bitter, somebody who can't or won't enter into that circle. He sees the other people dancing, and he can't join them. And he even starts to hate them for the joy they seem to be experiencing. Now, we've all been this guy sometimes. And so, if you can be in touch with that part of yourself, you might know what it is for this guy to think that what he thinks is going on is that the other people are happy, and therefore they dance. What he doesn't realize is that the other people dance, and therefore they are happy. So Rabbi Nachman paints this picture with the one on the outside unable or unwilling to enter in, and those on the inside unwilling or unable to bring this man in. And he says that the dancers must take the man who is sad and bitter into the circle of dancing and dance him. Right? And Hebrew lets you do this. Dance him as a transitive verb. Dance him until he can dance his own way to happiness. They do him a great kindness because he hasn't yet learned how to dance himself to happiness. Right? If you've ever been at a traditional Jewish wedding, right, where the groom comes out, the way the groom comes out from his seclusion to meet his bride is he is danced out. Right? The group of friends almost conveys him out. Almost, sort of, by force. But the bitter man, the one who is brought into the center of the circle, perhaps with a little bit of force, also does the people in the middle of the circle a great kindness as well. Because they didn't know, and they couldn't know, if the joy they achieved, if what they felt in the circle was just for themselves, just for their own pleasure and delight, or if it pointed to something greater than themselves, if it pointed to something outside of themselves. Somebody who welcomes other people and brings them into the circle, this person might have some indication that they are turned outward, that they're not just indulging their own ego. They wouldn't know this if they didn't have the opportunity to welcome somebody else in. So it's the same situation here. It might be that you're sitting here in this room, feeling, you know what you're doing, you know what davening's about, and you feel pretty comfortable. Or perhaps you're sitting here feeling like everyone else knows what they're doing, others know what's happening here. Most common thing people say to me, I want to come to services, but I don't speak Hebrew. Because everyone assumes that everyone else speaks Hebrew. One or two people. לפעמים אנחנו מדברים בעברית, אבל בדרך כלל we speak in English. Right? But we all have that sense of being a fraud, of being an imposter. And there's no way to know whether or not you are a fraud or an imposter. But I'm quite confident it has nothing to do with how you speak Hebrew, or how well you know the words in this book, or how well you know the order of the service or the layout of this building. The work we have to do on Rosh Hashanah, and really all the time, is internal. And that's the only place that authenticity can be measured. But if you see yourself as an outsider in this room, then you also have a job to do. You have to let the energy, the power, the kind people in this room carry you, dance you, pray you, until you can do it for yourselves and ultimately for others. We all have a role to play. Sometimes to carry, sometimes to be carried. But the way the davening works, the reason davening works, if it works, is because we join into a group that is bigger than ourselves. Right? If you've ever gone to a dance of any sort, nothing happens if everyone stays on the sideline. Right? And we have a trepidation about jumping in because we feel like we don't really belong. That we're going to mess up, that somebody's going to look at us funny if we screw up the dance. Here's the secret. 100% of the people in this room, myself included, are standing here worried that somebody else is going to judge us if we're going to mess up the dance. Nobody's judging. The power of davening in a group is when we let ourselves be carried by the group, and we are able to throw ourselves into it. So I hope that as we move through the rest of the service tonight and over the next few days, we can be all of the people in that circle. The people inside and the people outside. The people needing to be carried and the people needing to do the carrying. And together we can dance into the new year. With that, we'll continue with Kaddish Shalem on page 19.
יתגדל ויקדש שמי רבה ויעלם ותקרא קרתיה ולחמחותי וחיי חנו ביום וחנו בחיי לכל בית ישראל וגלה בזמן קריב אמרו אמן יהי שמי רבה מברך לעולם המלך יתברך וישתבח בדבר בית רומן ויתנשא ויתהדר ויתחלה ויתהלל שמי קודשה לילה לילה מכל ברכתה ושמרתה תשבחתה ונחמתה לאמירה מעלמה ואמרו אמן תיגע בצלותון ובלתון לכל ישראל תודה בהודי וישמעאל ואמרו אמן יהי שלמה רבה מן שמעיה וחיים עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן עושה שלום במרומיו הוא יעשה שלום עלינו ועל כל ישראל ואמרו אמן.
Continue on page 24. We continue on page 25 with our later.
Kakatu כי המלכות שלך היא, ולעולמי תמלוך בכבוד, ככתוב בתורתם, אדוני מלך לעולם ועד, ונאמר, והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ, ביום ההוא, יהיה
Kaddish Yatom, Mourner's Kaddish, on page 26. Yitkadal, Yitkadash, Shemei Rabbah, Velma Zibra, Kirute, Yamlif Machute, Bechayechon, Miyonechon, Bechaye, Kol Beit Yisrael, Ba'alav, Bizman, Karim, V'imru, Amen. Yehei Shemei Rabbah, Barach, Ve'elam, Amen, Maya. Yibarach, V'yishtabach, V'yipa'ar, V'yitromam, V'yitnaseh, V'yithadar, V'yithaleh, V'yithalal, Shemei Kudshah, B'richu. Le'ela, Le'ela, Mikol Birchata V'shirata, Tush B'chata V'nechamata, Da'miran Ve'alama V'imru. Amen. Yehei Shlama Rabba Mishmaya, V'chayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Oseh Shalom V'imramav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom, Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'imru. Amen. Continue on page 27 with Psalm 27, Psalm for season of Elul. Let's see. Services tomorrow, 9 a.m. Also Tuesday, 9 a.m. Tomorrow, Tashliks at 4 p.m. at Long Dock. For folks who, well, it's at Long Dock. We'll meet. It'll be hard to say where we'll meet. When you come to Long Dock, look for a whole bunch of Jews. We'll either be, depending on where the crowds are, in the old part of Long Dock, where there's that sculpture the one that goes down into the water, or we'll be on the other side by the tables in that new part that they built. But Long Dock at 4 o'clock tomorrow. Bring bread to discard our stale narratives with. Jesse, any other announcements we should share here?
Kids program starts at
9:15.
9:15, sorry.
Great. Kids program tomorrow at 9:15.
Looks like ages 2 to 5 until like 11 and 10:30. I can't remember. And ages 5 and up until the end of service, more or less. So like 11 to, no, from 9. There's stuff for younger kids, for older kids, from 9 until we figured they've got more stamina.
Older kids for the whole period, younger
Yes.
kids for the first half
Yes.
of that day. Excellent. Okay. Shana Tova. We will conclude with Yigdal on page 28.
Yigdal Elohim Chai ve'ishtabach nimtza ve'enei del mitziuto echad ve'en yachid ye'ichodo ne'elam ve'gavetzo le'achduto ein lo demut haguf ve'eino guf lo na'aroch elav kedushato kadmo lechol davar asher nivra rishon ve'reshit le'reshito ino adon olam v'chol notzar yored gedulato u'malchuto shefa nevuato netanu el anshe segulato v'tifarto lo kam be'Yisrael k'Moshe od navi u'mabit et emunato Torah emet natan le'am oel al yad nevio ne'eman beito lo yachal lifael ve'lo yamir dato le'olamim lezulato Zofer ve'yodecha setareinu mabit lesof tahar bekadmato gomel leish chesed kemifalo noten l'rashara kerishato yishlach leketz yamim meshichenu lektot mechakeket yeshuato metim yechayel merok aso Baruch ateh Hashem tehilato metim yechayel merok aso Baruch ateh Hashem tehilato
Shana Tova. I mean, it's short. I started with
much fun with.
Oh, that's good.